It's gone. It is left, and there's no way I could chase that. And then that short little pause, and all of a sudden, boom, like 40 some handles was like 41 handles. It gapped intraday. Welcome to understanding what a real liquidity void is. Price action traders. How'd that grab you? Pretty exciting, isn't it? Well, I was hoping because if it would have came back up into what I was showing you today, I would have went in with 8 contracts. Now, you might think to yourself, 8 contracts, that's not that big of a deal, ICT, but 8 contracts with a potential of maybe 100 handles, that's pretty respectable. That's pretty respectable. And I was trying, but it just simply wouldn't give it to me. And soon as it just kept breaking more and more and more lower aggressively, and I was like, okay, I have to be done. Because if I stay with this today, I'm going to do probably more than I should have. And my mind is racing saying, you can beat the shit out of this, ICT. You know you can do this. You know you can. Just because it's moving a whole lot more historically, never been done before. It's never been here. It's never done these types of volatility moves ever. Larry Williams never seen this in his life, in his ass thinking, what the hell is going on? Why is this happening? Right, exactly. It's fun. Isn't it interesting seeing everybody that's supposed to be in the industry? They're always putting up their explanations as to why things take place after it happens. But remember, on Monday morning, we were looking for 35.70. We were looking for it. And I was telling you also, I don't give a shit who you know, who says what. How many times you seen them be right before? If they said we're not going lower, they're full of grade A bullshit. We're taking out 35.70. Well, Santa came through again, and 35.70 was delivered, but it came with extras this year. Okay, it came with a whole lot more, and went all the way down to the weekly fair value gap, which essentially is the main draw on that 3,400. And you're probably looking at that today and thinking, wait a minute, it's not even at 3,400. Well, 3,400 is a big figure, and I still think that is in contention for the next wave lower if we can sell off. Now, tomorrow we have 2 economic drivers. We have 8:30 in the morning and we have 10 o'clock in the morning. So it's Friday. I'm not holding out for any one particular direction over the other. We did a lot of movement today. I personally am done. Like, I'm not trying to do anything else. I'm at 34,000 for the month. I'm not trying to do anything more, and I've not taken a great deal of size on any of the positions. So the largest position I had on was, I believe it was 12 contracts. Well, it's not even an entire month. It's only what, the 13th. So you take the weekends out of that. It's not been much at all. So we would be seeing crazy volatility, and we are off the charts. And it's exciting to be being able to participate in it. But now, since I got a taste of it today, yeah, the 25, 30 contracts pyramiding up, that type of thing, I just don't have it in me, folks. I got to be honest with you. These markets are moving at a pace that are admittedly very intimidating, even for me. Like, I know if I make one error, one to do it, I said, no, 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 no. I know what everybody else is doing right now. They're all trying to be a part of the next little move in here that's going to be the next big 30, 50 handle move. And I was like, nope, I dodged the bullet today. So, yeah, I don't need to feel, a 50 caliber between the eyes to know that I shouldn't have done it. So all kinds of bad experiences when I was 20 years old came flooding back. And I told my son, I said, I'm going to sit still. I'm literally turning the charts off. I'm walking away, and I just chilled out. I watched YouTube videos. I did some reading, took a nap, which I didn't need, but I had to do whatever I could to stay away from the charts because I know Mr. Hyde in me. Because you're listening to Dr. Jekyll on YouTube. Here, you get a little taste of Mr. Hyde, where I'm off the rails. There's no filter. There's no editing. There's no retracting the bipolarism, the swings, and I have been feeling that for weeks. And just to cut in real quick, the jerk that put a list pendants against the property, who was trying to shake us down for money. I told the seller 2 nights ago. I said, "Listen, I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm not waiting 2 years. So my suggestion is to you, go in with the difference between our offers. I offered him 1,975,000 for his house. He listed it for 19999, and the other offer that was coming in but was invalid because it had all kinds of, the date was wrong. They had requested certain parts of their furniture, and I don't know if this matters, but I want you to understand my mindset going into this week. I told the seller, I said, listen, sell the house to me, but pay the guy off with the difference between our offers. Because I don't think he wants the house because I don't think he can afford the house. Personally, that's what I think. But he was working on this property to wait until somebody came on the contract. And then he falsely said that, I had a deal, knowing full well someone was trying to do $2 million in property. They don't want to wait around this environment because they know that property values, as the buyer, I want to get it now. As the seller, he's thinking, I got to get it while the market's hot because I don't want to see it drop down in valuation. He went out and asked him through his lawyer, said, what do you want? Do you want to buy the house? He goes, no, give me $48,200, which was a weird number. And I did some research, found out that he has $30,000 on another property, and his lawyer fees is $12,000, and the $200 is the fee that they use to put the list pendants in. So the lawyer made $12,000, and he's getting $30,000, which is his deposit he put down on another property. So yeah, I can do my own sleuth work too. But he countered and said, no, I'm going to give you $30,000. And they said, no, fuck you. That was exactly what he told his lawyer. He said, fuck you. It's okay, $35,000 or fuck you. We'll see you in court. We're going to lose the sale on Monday to the Huddlestons, and that brings me damages, and you're fucked. We go to court, you're fucked because you falsely clouded the title. And they said, we'll take it. So Friday, their lawyer, sleazebag, Saul, is doing up the paperwork to release the property and clear the list pendants, and then I will be handing over the difference between my $100,000 good faith deposit, and I'll have the keys, and I guess I'll walk through it next weekend with you, let you see it. It's not going to be furnished yet because I have certain rooms I haven't picked out yet. But anyway, that's the point. Because of all that bullshit, I have been swinging maniac to just really borderline depressed because my wife is upset about this. Now imagine I have to trade decisions around making money or talk to all of you fine folks. And you know how I am. I'm wired a little differently. So I have had to pull myself back. And you saw a couple of days ago, I was ready to take everybody on in YouTube. That's what happens with me. Okay, I'm bipolar. But see this motherfucker in public, because he's going to find out that this kind of fucking shit doesn't make friends. And you read between the fucking lines on that one. But it worked out in my favor. My wife's happy. I'm happy. The sellers are happy because they're old. This is an older couple, very nice. The guy's health's failing him. 74 years old, and they don't need all this kind of fucking drama. Nobody does. So I told myself I was going to step away from the property, and if these other people want to buy it, so be it. To me, will, and there it is. It wasn't meant for me to have it. But when I said that, that was like that little nudge for them to say, well, we're gonna do what you said. We're gonna offer them a buyout, and they did it for less than I even encouraged them to do it. So they took it for 35 instead of 50. Because if they were going to sell it to that buyer, they would have sold it for 1,925,000. So what's the difference if they give them the 50,000 difference between my offer and that offer, and I get to buy the house? It's 1,000 difference between my offer and that offer, and I get to buy the house. It's the same outcome. They get to move the same outcome. They get to move on with the rest of what they want to do. I get the property and all the piece of shit's gone. So it is what it is. But I'm so relieved. Like I'm relieved, but I didn't want to be talking to you or doing very much at all because nothing was going to come out where I would have been satisfied. Like I would have been all over the place, and it would have been mostly bitching and wanting to talk about things that wouldn't really benefit or edify anyone. But because I'm a realist and I don't sugarcoat anything, I'm being honest and telling you that's what I've been contending with. And it's a real world thing like anybody else, and you're going to have stresses in your life. And having lots of money doesn't remove stress. It doesn't remove these types of things. And I don't have a way of shielding myself from things that would jerk me out of gear. And once I'm out of gear, it's just time. Like once the chemicals in me wear down, it ain't burn off. That's the only thing that settles me down. Like my wife can't calm me down. Nobody can talk to me out of it. Like if someone tries to talk, like this is why I tell you all, this is a weakness in my personality and my makeup where I lose control of myself and my faculties and focus. So if I'm going to be risking money in that, is that someone that's making sound decisions? Absolutely not. And that's what I fell victim to as a 20-year-old. I would get angry at the market. I would get angry at the book, the author, whatever the fuck it was going on in my head. If I stumped my toe, anything that would have been an excuse for me to say that shit was the reason why. Where it's me, it's me that's not able to focus. And that's what I felt today. I felt like I wanted to exact revenge. Poor little S&P ain't done shit to ICT. It's been nice to me all year long. And here I am trying to victimize this son of a bitch. He didn't do anything to me. Didn't do nothing to me. And I'm sitting here trying to rough him up, pull roughshod on him. So I took a little bit of flesh off of him today and I let him go. So that was the inner dialogue, if you will, of what my morning was like. And the only way I could protect myself was simply just turn the charts off. Because in my mind, I had every montage scenario going through. I was going to do some serious shit today. But thankfully, it ran off without me. And because it probably would have handed me my ass. Okay. And that's the real thing. Okay, that's the real talk. most most gurus, mentors, wannabe traders and YouTubers, or whatever, they're not going to talk like that. Okay. And that's why I push that guy Corbs. I like what he does. I like what he does because he shares his emotion. He shares his struggles. He does not hide the things he's having an issue with. And that is very refreshing. And I hope you understand that that's why I'm pushing him on you. And I like to see his channel grow because I think there's an audience for that. Now, notice that when he was doing his live streaming, it was very difficult for him to find consistency. And you probably watched him go off the rails, and which was kind of entertaining because it made me feel like I was looking at a visual of how I am sometimes in my head. But, losing his shit, throwing pens and glasses and shit flying around, that's entertainment. And that's exactly probably, what you all would expect from me. But most of my trading is nothing like that. But today, if engaged, like you probably would have seen some fucking crazy shit today because I came in wanting. So I took that again as grace and I said, I'm bowing out. I'm not going to do anything the rest of the day. But Corpse, he comes across as a very honest guy, as Mr. Prophet, Mr. I know everything. He shows on his screen where he gets in, gets out. And if you look at it, and Corbs, if you're listening, this is not a knock against you. There's nothing fantastic about his entries. Like you could probably look at what I've been teaching and you're like, why is he doing that? But you can make money outside of my stuff. Like my things are not the only way people can make money. My things, in my opinion, make it a little bit easier in terms of clarity and understanding why you're doing something and why the market should be doing it. But he's honest. He shows you where he did something wrong. You can see where his trades didn't work out. I think he overtrades a little bit. That's my personal opinion, but that's outside the scope of the conversation. But I like the last two conversations he had in his videos, today and yesterday's video, where he talked about his inability in drawdown when he takes another trade and it's profitable, and he knows in his gut he should, like, I should take something and lock that in, and or take something off of it and pay myself. But because the pain and the pressure of ego as a male, and I'm not saying he's egotistical, but I know as a man, as a male, and ladies, you probably can't understand this. I mean, in fact, I know you don't understand it. It simply just doesn't understand it. It's a fucking video game, Michael. What are you making a big deal about it for? I said, look around. Look how you live, woman. Look how you live. And you call that a video game? Come on now. So he knows that if he does take a loss, like anybody else, and I've experienced this too. I'm not talking like I don't have this experience. Everybody that's ever traded has had this experience. But when you have a period of drawdown, or if you get into a trade or two and you're in drawdown on a day, the first impulse is, motherfucker, I want my money back, and I'm coming with interest, bitch. You better give me my motherfucking money. Where the fuck is my money? Where is my shit? Where is it at right now? Give it to me. It's already late. Give it to me now. That's what you want. That's the mindset. And then all of a sudden you get into trades, and say you're down $500, say you're down $750, some $800, okay? And you get into another trade, you're pissed off. You can't find your groove, but it just how happens that you're in now a trade and you're up $400. And you're thinking, all I got to do is see another one of those and I'm even. And if it gets to that, I'll just see if it wants to give me a little bit more, because I need to cover commissions and I got to come home with something. First of all, you don't need to go home with anything. You got to leave with your ass. You can't go into the marketplace and leave your ass out there. You can't do that. So this is why I teach how to mitigate losing streaks, how to take drawdown and bring it back realistically. That means you're not trying to get everything back in one clip. Now, there has been times where I've done that, revenge style, okay? But it's never served me well as a method of doing it again and again and again. I learned the hard way that if I lose 1,000 and I get into another trade with half the leverage and I'm up $500, I'm done. I'm closing that trade. Now what that does, it frees me up to go back to the original amount of leverage that I took on the previous trade that was a losing trade. So put it in perspective. Okay, say I was risking 1% and I lost 1%. Whatever that dollar amount is for 1% of the equity, the next trade back, as soon as my trade gets to that point, I'm killing it. I don't give a flying fuck how much it might keep going. I don't care, because I have to reset myself mentally. And maybe you think that you're better than me mentally. Maybe you think you're more dialed in. Maybe you think you're the person that's going to be doing everything better than everybody else and you're perfect, okay? Believe me, you're 20 years old. You probably think that. I did the same thing. And I'm telling you right now, you don't fucking know anything. You have no idea. You haven't been around here yet long enough. You're going to find I am today. I ain't going to lie to you, okay? I am today. It is what it is. But here's the deal. When you get that opportunity to get half of the losing trades that you just took your ass out there and got whacked upside your head, as soon as you get half of that losing trade back and you're doing it with half the leverage, you close that trade and you don't give a fuck what anybody else is going to say about it. First of all, you shouldn't be telling anybody about it. Two, you tell yourself, good job. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do that. Not, oh, I'm going to hold and push my edge. My edge says I should do this. Fuck your edge. Fuck your edge. Gentlemen, listen. When you get that brand new razor, Gillette, you bought that fucking razor just like I did. Okay? There's commercials. They make it seem like it's the greatest fucking thing in the world. Your wife's going to come around the corner. She looks like a fucking celebrity model. You know, everybody's chiseled out fucking face. Everybody's looking perfect. And because you want that razor. And that razor gets on your skin the very first time and it cuts through your beard and your stubble like a fuck beautiful. Just takes it right on off, right? Okay. Keep using that same motherfucking razor 6 months. What's it going to do? It's going to tear your ass up. It's going to tear your ass up. I don't give a shit how much lubricant, how much shit you lather all over your face. That razor, you keep pushing it, it's going to lose its edge. It's going to tear your face up. Okay. Well, you're in that same scenario. You just took a loss. Now you're forced to drop down your leverage. Half the leverage you took on your previous trade, it was a losing trade. But now you got the opportunity to get half of your ass back. And you did it with half the leverage. That's phenomenal. Now, it's not phenomenal for the SMC guys out there, the 200 to 1 fucking traders that do it every single fucking week, but they're still trading with 0.01 leverage on their fucking trades on their MT4 screenshots. It's not good enough for them. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to really real traders, the people that are here to learn how to make money and conduct themselves like professionals in the marketplace. You have to work within statistical probabilities, and the probabilities of you being dialed in after a losing trade, especially if you're new, next to zero. You got to reduce your risk. As soon as you get half of that losing trade back in equity in the trade that you're now in after that losing trade. So now 1% you took as a loss. Now you're going to take another trade, not right away. When your system, when your pattern, when your model says so, time and price has to still agree. It's got to make fucking sense. You just can't just pull one out of your ass and say, well, I don't feel good. This hurt. And I need to get this back right away because my friends on social media are going to be meeting together in my Discord channel. And they're all going to ask me what the fuck I did today. And I cannot talk about this losing trade because guess what? I'm going to lose my man card. These guys sit around trading Pokemon fucking cards. This is money. We're talking about money. I'm not here for friends. I don't give a fuck if you like my trades. I don't care if you love my trades. I'm here to make money. I'm here to teach you how I make money. If you don't like that, then go somewhere else. Play fucking Pokemon in Discord. I don't give a shit. But here, if you're trading with a losing trade, the next trade, you're half the leverage. Make half that losing trade that you took 1% loss on, make that back. As soon as you do that, that's a reset. Now you can go back to trading with 1% risk again. But wait a minute, Michael, I'm in drawdown still a 0.5%. Right. Yep. That's what I do. That's what I do. Now, what happens if you lose again? You drop your risk in half again and you trade until you get half of that losing trade back. And then you close the trade. That frees you up to go back to what? 1% or a 0.5%. Once you get down to a 0.25%, there's really nothing, in my opinion, it's worth taking. But what that does, it causes your drawdowns to be less and less and less, and it allows you to reset emotionally and psychologically because it takes the sting away. If you're wrong, if you're impulsive, if you rush back in to try to do something, it is a fail switch to keep you from blowing the fuck out. Because you will, if you don't do these things, you will, if you just go in there and say, okay, I don't care, and you get that gambler numbness. Anybody that's ever played cards or went to a casino, you're up, you made money, you've had an experience like that. You go home, they send you comps. Come on back. We love you. You took money from us. We love you as a customer. Come back here and stay in one of our really luxurious suites and fuck, we'll give you a steak dinner and here's 2 tickets to a show. Come on back. Have the whole weekend to yourself because you are a customer that we love. And your dumbass believes that. So you fly out there, you go out there and then you lose everything you fucking won the last time and then more. What happened? You're sitting at the table. You know damn well you shouldn't have came back out there. 2, you shouldn't have stayed as long as you did. And you knew right when you should have stopped, but you don't. And you lose. And you lose again. And then you lose again. And all of a sudden you think to yourself, well, fuck it. I got $1,000 still in chips here. I'm just going to play until I fucking lose. I don't care. That's gambler numbness. That's what trading sometimes does or occurs to people that just cannot stay focused. And what happens is you're just waiting for that chance turnaround. And when it does, few and far between, there's an instance where that occurs. But when it happens, what that does is it gives you that little bit of dopamine. Boom. All of a sudden, oh shit. Look out, ladies. Holy shit. Look who just stepped in. It's Money Man. It's Mr. Maven. It's fucking Mr. Market Maker, ICTs. Nobody compared to you now. You got it all figured out because that chemical imbalances kicks in, and everybody has this. You don't have to be bipolar to experience this. That feeling of I'm on now. I'm on. But it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, that's when you start betting bigger because you think you've turned the tide. And now the gods of the odds have now shined their light on you and given you their favor. And the only thing they've given you is a shift in your perspective. Because see, what you think is good is just really their boot going up your ass. You have no idea what's about to happen to you. And then boom, your $1,000 is gone. And on the flight home from the casino, and you've lost more than you brought because you couldn't take that. You had to go and get more money out of your ATM and more money out of your ATM. Because hey, it's still Saturday night and you got another night to sleep up there for free, right? And you fly home with less money than you had before you went out there and won by luck. See, all these things, these take place all the time, every single day. And it took place a lot, I guarantee you, in so many people's minds today. If they have somehow dodged that big drop in the morning, they were in there playing around. They were in there trying to do something they're not equipped to do. And they can't manage themselves. They can't manage their emotions. They can't manage their psychology. And I know enough about myself to know that I would have done more than I should have today. And it probably wouldn't have been as good as I would have wanted it to be because I went in with the wrong expectations. I'm going to come in there, Mr. Market Maven. And that volatility today said, sit the fuck down, boy. You ain't ready. You ain't ready for this. Sit down. Just shut your fucking mouth. You just sit right there and you just watch and be thankful you're not in here. And guess what? I walked away from that. And I came back later on, went the gap, the liquidity void, used that support, as I mentioned, and then vaulted above the high and then just kept digging in higher. So to me, I think that anyone listening to, I know he's been trading for a while. I think he's really now taking it serious in terms of his development because I asked him, I said, what's your goal? And he wants to be a 7-figure trader. And the things he's enduring right now are many times the barrier that prevents that very thing. And most people can't get through it. They can't press through it. And what I talked about in this Twitter space here in terms of managing your risk, dropping it down and make half of the previous loss back, then reset to what the previous loss leverage was. That gives you that little bit of a cookie, which is what we need. Okay. As humans, we need that little reward, that little nudge that we're doing it right. That cookie, that attaboy, that pat on the shoulder. Okay. And like in karate and martial arts, okay, all these fucking belt colors and shit. Why? Because they got to keep you paying. They got to keep you feeling like